Welcome to the Music and Cigars Podcast with your host, Eddie Roy, where we talk cigars, music, and so much more. Let's spark the conversation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Music and Cigar Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Roy. This is the Vintage Cigar Lounge edition. Let's spark up the conversation. Today, I have the manager / tobacconist, Mr. John W. Hey, John, nice to have you on the show, man. Thank you for allowing us to use the lounge.
Of course. Thanks for having us. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me ask you something. So how did you get into the Vintage Cigar Lounge? How did you come about, being a manager up here?
Well, honestly, this is one of the first places that I came here when I first moved here to Huntsville. I had a few other jobs since I got here, but I saw that they were hiring one day and I was a frequent customer. So I was like, hey, well,
Okay.
well, after that, I'll throw my hat in the ring and I got the job. So here we are.
That's awesome. How long have you been here?
Been here going on 2 years, about maybe like a little over a year and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's safe to say you love it. You like it up
Yeah.
here. Every time I come up here, the staff, including yourself, they always show great hospitality. It's always clean. The ventilation is A1. I love it up here. I'll come up here all the time. Let me ask you something though. Being a manager at a cigar lounge, you notice a lot of things about the business. You host events. As a matter of fact, Vintage Cigar Lounge just recently had an anniversary, correct?
Yeah, we did. Last year, we actually celebrated our 15-year anniversary. So in this spot here in Huntsville, in Bridge Street, 15 years. It's crazy.
Did y'all have any vendors here or?
For that day, that was quite a blowout that we had. Yes. We had cigar giveaways, whiskey tastings, wine tastings, beer tastings. We had everything.
Okay.
We went pretty crazy for those. I think we did that 2 days in a row. Yeah.
Okay.
That was a really fun one.
That's what's up, man. I always like to go to events. I didn't make that event, but I will make the next event that y'all have. Do y'all have any up and coming events, as a matter of fact?
Yeah. So we try to do events, specifically cigar events. I'd say we try to do at least once a month, to where we'll have one of the reps from one of our companies, be that Drew Estate or Toro Fuente, like some of our biggest ones. But Rocky Patel, kind of goes on and on. Our next one might be Forged, but yeah, so that's going to be things like Diesel Smokes and things like that. So we typically try and pick and choose and see who wants to come in with us.
I love the Diesel. I love the Diesel cigars. I think Leo, one of the staff here at Vintage Cigar Lounge, brothers and sisters of the Leaf, have put me on a Diesel, I think, whiskey bourbon or something.
That's crazy. I was almost going to give you that one today.
Yes. It's a good cigar, and it pairs well with a old fashioned. If you were having old fashions, you having old fashioned as well.
I'm just doing a little bit of whiskey here, a little bit of whiskey. Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice blends,
Yeah.
Special occasions.
Special occasions, man. And what better occasion than the first episode of Vintage Cigar Lounge with the manager, ladies and gentlemen, of Vintage Cigar Lounge. Let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
With pairing is essential when you're smoking a cigar. How do you go about pairing?
So I'd say that with pairing cigars, especially with whiskey or cocktails, right? It is a little bit of work, but really, if you have the knowledge, if you know what's kind of going on, it is really easy. We kind of look at it like, cigars and tobacco for cigars, but we're all in different places, right? You have Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Honduras, Ecuador, all those different countries that grow this tobacco. All those different places grow tobacco with different notes, right? And it's the same exact thing when it comes down to pairing it with the spirit. So when you pair it with a spirit, you want to look and see what kind of notes those are bringing to the table. And then also kind of looking at with spirits and where they're from and what kind of notes you get from those things. With whiskey, it's a little bit harder just because
It's stronger, like
it's stronger, it's heavier. But there's just so many, right? Just like cigars, there's so many different types of whiskey and bourbon. So many people are making whiskey and bourbon, but it's really just kind of understanding. Unfortunately, it comes with kind of knowledge, but it is just about kind of trying things and seeing what really works. If you have a really nutty and oaky bourbon, you want to have something that's going to be like a little bit more on that creamier side, maybe something a little bit more mild. Connecticut Rattlers, they tend to have that little bit of nuttiness, a little bit of creaminess to it. That pairs really well with those kind of things. We do have our classes coming up. I think actually there's one this week, but the Art of Pairing, which is going to be run by me and Liam, our other tobacconist here. We're going to do that to where we'll essentially pick a couple cigars, a couple different bottles, and talk about why they paired well together and what else you should do to when you're trying to find a really appropriate pairing between a cigar and a spirit.
Okay. Now, with the classes, are they free or is that a small fee or what is it?
Yeah, I think those classes run about maybe $50 a ticket.
Okay.
You are getting 2 cigars in that included and also 2 different pours of whiskey. So that usually equals up a little bit less than what you be getting. And also, some really good information, I think. And we're also, we make sure to have a little bit of fun with the class as well. So yeah, it's definitely a good time. But yeah, that's something we're going to start moving forward with that probably month to month.
It's month to month. Okay. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Our brothers and sisters on the leave. If you're in the Huntsville area, swing by British Cigar Lounge and get those classes in. Educate yourself on pairing cigars and whiskey or spirits. So this the whole vibe of the lounge. I love it. Do you remember your first time coming to this lounge and how you felt?
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I think the first time I came in here, I think I came in here only just for like a cocktail. And yeah, I really kind of like fell in love with the place. It is really, really beautiful, I think, from head to toe.
Yeah, it is.
And even and I didn't even know about this space back here, our members lounge. I didn't even really know about it. I only saw what was out front.
Right.
So being here in the back was definitely a shock to me when I first came back here.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah.
It's I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the Honeycomb Hideout. Like, this is definitely a man cave, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt a man cave. And it's private. If you want to get some work done, I've been in here plenty of times and seen gentlemen upstairs with their laptops.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a few things for work or business.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is definitely a good spot. A great spot back here.
Yeah. And we do a lot of networking back here as well.
Yeah.
I think it's the first or second Tuesday of every month. All this stuff you could find on our social medias, but we do like our business in bourbon, which is essentially just networking, right? That's essentially, if you're back here, it's free access to the lounge and you get to talk with like-minded individuals, again, make some contacts and, further yourself in your career, hopefully. That was really the goal.
That's awesome, man. I like the fact that y'all have opportunities like that to engage with different people from walks of life and networking with individuals that are trying to, I guess, move forward or elevate themselves.
Yeah.
Just like y'all gave me an opportunity here to shoot at this lounge. I really appreciate the staff and you for allowing me to shoot my second season here. It's an absolute honor. Absolute honor. So you like music, right?
Love music.
Okay.
Big music guy.
Okay. Hip hop or R&B?
I tend to sway more towards hip hop. Yeah. Myself. I like a little bit of the older stuff, like 90s hip hop, like late 80s, like that stuff's my favorite.
Name your top 3 artists.
Top 3 artists. As far as just hip hop? Probably Wu-Tang Clan at number one.
Mhm.
That was pretty easy. I do really like MF Doom and probably give it to Run the Jewels at 3. Think they're doing a lot of really cool stuff. At least for now, they have a lot of like different vibes, especially Killer Mike. Because
What you know about Killer Mike? Did you listen to his recent album?
absolutely.
I like that album. I like that song what he had with Andre 3000.
Oh my
and
God,
Future.
yeah.
Man, that
Amazing.
shit was man.
I feel like anything Killer Mike does is
Yeah.
like, just so solid.
Yeah, isn't Killer Mike? He's from Atlanta, right?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. So he had the whole Atlanta. He's one of the pioneers for putting on Atlanta. You have Outkast, you had, different artists out there that Atlanta that may have put Atlanta on the map. But,
Oh yeah.
but he's definitely one of the people that
Absolutely.
actually put it on the map. What's your favorite song, Bob?
By just Killer Mike.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, what album is it off of? Is it off the new album?
his new album is really, really solid. I just think like my favorite stuff that he's done is just been with like Run the Jewels, like him and LB. And I think LB's from like West Coast. I think he's like California or something.
LB.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think of West Coast, I think of people like Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube,
Yeah. Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle, Kendrick Lamar.
Nipsey Hussle's really good.
Yeah, R.I.P. Nipsey, man. He was going too soon. I love that album we had,
He
Victory
did.
Lap.
Yeah.
Victory Lap was motivational to me. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I,
Let's see. I mean, so I actually got really into. So not being from Huntsville, like originally, I was from around Miami. So Miami has a really big like hip hop scene, really big rap scene. They have a lot of artists that are very specifically like they sound like Miami rap has a specific sound.
like a Trick Daddy.
Yeah. So like the things. Yeah. Well, less like Pitbull, more like Rick Ross, right?
Ah, yeah.
So like he has like a really big like Miami sound. One of my other favorite rappers is Denzel Curry. He's a younger guy, but he's so
Go hard.
No,
I have to listen to him, man. Denzel Curry?
Denzel Curry.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check him out.
He is like
Is he an up-and-coming artist or he's already been
he's out there now. Like
Okay.
I remember I listened to him. I couldn't even really tell you how long ago it was when like I remember I have like a tape of his first record that he made, which I can't really find many places now, but
Right.
yeah, he has so many good albums and so many good songs. And he does rap a lot about just kind of living in like Miami and like in that Dade area.
Yeah,
It's really funny.
Okay. Yeah. So when you listen to music, because I know what music does to me, man. Music to me, especially adding with cigars, just I like to say it's therapeutic for the mind, body, and soul. Every time I
Absolutely.
come here, if I'm alone back here, I throw on some music, not too loud, but something to just vibe. But what does music and cigars do for you?
I mean, to me, it's kind of hard to kind of just smoke a cigar, especially at home and not really have anything kind of listening in the background, you know?
Well,
And I'm a really big music guy. I go back and forth to 1,010 different genres, but every day's different. I like to mix things up, but it's really just about kind of relaxing, or even kind of hyping yourself up, having a vibe, and getting ready for the day.
whole little vibe. That's right, man.
So that that's what it is. Like I got into like collecting records and stuff. So I have,
Okay.
like,
Vinyl?
yeah, vinyl.
Okay, that's what's up.
It's an expensive hobby. As
Yeah, it is.
cigars.
Cigars are expensive hobby too. I know. Trust me, man. I come out here and spend $1,600 That's nothing compared to some guys come in.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely does get up there pretty quick.
It's a vice. It's a good vice. It's like a sport. No, it's like golf. Get right in your gloves, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Let me ask you another question, right? So if you could smoke cigars with anybody, listen to music and smoke cigars with anybody in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
Man,
Artist, entrepreneur, who would it be?
that's a really crazy question. I think, it's like someone that always kind of reminded me, especially growing up, like reminded me of smoking cigars. And take this how you will, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger was like,
Hey, yeah.
and he has like, he's a really big cigar smoker.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Like all of his movies and everything. And like, he's done so much in his life and he's had so many like crazy ups and downs.
Yeah.
Everything. And like, I feel like regardless of what you feel about him, he'd probably be like
I like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've seen something where he had a video as a short where he says, my wife doesn't like it when I smoke my cigars in the house, but I'm the one in charge. I'm the boss. She doesn't like it, but I'm the boss.
Yeah. He's very much.
He's kidding. I understand. I do whatever I want when I want it.
Yeah. It's super fun. That's like super like younger Arnold Schwarzenegger, but yeah, like he is like, he's great. And I see like him. He does like his like whole workout routines, and I see him do like so it's like, well, let me take you through how I make my protein shakes, and he'll like do all this, and then protein, bunch of different fruits and vegetables, right, and then some schnapps. No protein shake is simply without schnapps. And then I'm like, yeah, that's a crazy way to work out, man. But yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, he's been into cigars for a long time, and he's been like really really well known, I guess, for smoking cigars. And I feel like if I were to smoke a cigar with someone, I'd want it to be with someone that I really know, that I really do enjoy them,
Yes. Okay.
I'm not sitting here trying to like force anybody, especially not to bring anybody back from the dead and then force them.
Yeah. That's true, man. That's true. So, what's your go-to cigar?
I'm a huge Arturo Fuente guy. Anything that Fuente does is going to be a banger. Today we're both smoking Arturo Fuentes. It is really hard. I mean, Arturo Fuente is making the best cigars in the world to me.
Okay.
So, they're a Nicaraguan-based company. That's where they get all their tobacco from. They're just, anything from any line that they do. So, be that Arturo Fuente or Don Carlos, the Añejos are amazing. Anything from Opus X.
Can you tell me a little bit about the cigar that I was smoking today, the Chateau, right?
Yes, that's the Double Chateau. So it's essentially a little bit longer than a regular Toro. That one's going to be the natural, so it's a Connecticut wrap, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, all from Nicaragua, from their whole plant. Like the Chateaus are like one of their mainstays. Same thing like what I'm smoking here is the Arturo Fuente, the Queen Bee.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite smokes, especially from their baseline. I think this is like a top tier smoke that it's hard for me to branch out when there's something that, you like so much. Right.
Favorite take on the cigar?
So I think, personally, I like to punch all my cigars.
You have a specific reason why? Or?
Yeah, so I have a few different cutters at home. I have a V cut, I have a straight cut, I have a couple different pokers that I use, but I have probably 10 torches, maybe, and almost all those torches have punches on them. So I just started using them out of necessity because that's all I had on hand was a torch with a punch on it.
Right.
Even like this guy has one on it.
Okay. That's a pretty neat torch. I almost brought my dang old thumb or whatever. But that's a pretty neat torch. I like that, George.
Well, yeah, so like it kind of just turned into habit from necessity. So I just always had a punch on me because most of my torches did have them. And then, yeah, from there, I kept going through punches. And now I almost kind of avoid things like torpedoes just because, and like epicures and all that, like bellicosos. I tend to avoid those because they're just a lot of them. I mean, you can't punch those.
Right.
So
Right.
you can kind of do it with a really small straight on it, but torpedoes and things like cigars like that tend to also be wrapped a little bit tighter. So,
see, my take on punches is that I would much prefer going and smoking, punching a cigar before I smoke it because of the tobacco. I don't like the tobacco feels more up when I need to guillotine cut.
yeah.
And then especially when I'm talking to somebody or from just, I'm drinking a beverage, I don't want to taste tobacco and alcohol or spirits at the same time. So yeah, I'm pretty much the same way, man. I like punches. I prefer punches, and then I'll do the guillotine cut. And then if I have to, V-cut, And most of the time you'll do a V-cut on that torpedo, right?
Not typically, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are people that definitely do light V-cuts on torpedoes. Not a lot of people know that you can do that. A lot of people are like, no, it's a torpedo. You have to do it as straight. Like, you don't necessarily have to. You can do a V-cut on it. Just has to be deep enough, at least, to where you can pull out of it. And that's it.
Yep. No doubt, man. Is there anything that you would like to tell the audience about the lounge, or can we find you online anywhere? I don't know if you're online or...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, everything at Vintage Cigar Lounge. I'd say a big thing, you kind of like touched upon it a little bit earlier, but, like cigar smoking, I think has a reputation for being like very masculine.
Absolutely.
Right? But it definitely doesn't have to be. And
absolutely.
Like, we have so many women that come through here that are really big cigar smokers. Cigars are cigars are not for men. They're for everybody.
For everybody.
It's just tobacco. Yeah. So like if you, I don't know. I'd want to say don't be afraid to kind of get into it just because it's a really masculine thing. Like it really is. Like cigar smoking to me is really more about that relaxed state of mind. It's not about being like hyper masculine, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm a stud. I am a stud.
Right.
So
not exactly like that, but it is. It's for everybody. Like men can smoke it, women can smoke cigars. Like it doesn't matter.
SOTL, Sisters of the Elite.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're out there. They exist, ladies and gentlemen. They exist.
I just feel like some people might be a little pushed off from it, and I'm like, nah, it's really.
Oh man,
yeah. People look at it and they're really people get nervous about cigars, but it is really really easy to kind of get into. It's not that intimidating once you're in it. So
come to Vintage Cigar Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. Located in Huntsville, Alabama. John, it was a pleasure having you on the show. It was an honor. Thank you so much for allowing me to use this space. And we got more episodes coming at Vintage Cigar Lounge this season. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to say there's nothing that pairs better with a great track than a great cigar. So listen, puff, and ash. I'm Eddie Roy. Peace.